Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning. I've shared my screen. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we're just about to start a new chapter, linear equations. Linear equations on two variables. Yeah. So I told you the name of the chapter is linear equations. Linear equations in two variables. So the two variables are x and y. Linear meaning linear. Now, what's a linear polynomial? A linear polynomial is one whose degree is 1. If the degree of a polynomial is 1, then it is called a linear polynomial. Let me get some examples from you. Give some examples of linear polynomials.
X plus 2.
X plus 2. X plus 2 is a polynomial. First, it is a polynomial. X plus 2 is a polynomial because the power of x is a whole number. X plus 2 is a polynomial. It is an algebraic expression. It is a polynomial because the power of the variable x is a whole number. And what is that whole number? It is 1. And since there's only one variable x here and x is only in only one place, the highest power is also 1. So since the highest power is 1, the degree of this polynomial is 1, and hence it's called a linear polynomial. Some more examples.
3x plus 5.
3x plus 5. So 3x plus 5 is an algebraic expression. 3x plus 5 is a polynomial. The variable is x. The power of x is 1. And since it's 1, and you also know the highest power is also 1. So when the highest power is 1, the polynomial is a linear polynomial. And when you equate a linear polynomial to 0, when you equate a linear polynomial to 0, it's called a linear equation. And in this case, a linear equation in one variable x. Now, when we take the first example, x plus 2. X plus 2 is a linear polynomial. X plus 2 is equal to 0 is a linear equation in one variable x. I repeat, x plus 2 is a linear polynomial in one variable x. X plus 2 is equal to 0. When you equate the linear polynomial to 0, which is x plus 2 equals 0. Now this is a linear equation in one variable x. The second example, 3x plus 5. 3x plus 5. 3x plus 5 is a linear polynomial. And when you equate it to 0, 3x plus 5 is equal to 0. When you equate it to 0, it's called a linear equation in one variable x. Give me an example of a linear polynomial in one variable y. An example of a linear polynomial in one variable y.
2y plus 6.
2y plus
6, ma'am.
6. 2y plus 6. Okay. So 2y plus 6 is an example of a linear polynomial in one variable y. And when does this become a linear equation? When does 2y plus 6 become a linear equation? Not getting my question?
Yes,
2y
ma'am.
plus
When
2y plus 6 is a linear polynomial. When does this become a linear equation?
Ma'am, when 2x
When
plus
the
6 is equal to 0, ma'am.
Yeah, 2y plus 6. When you equate it to 0, when you write 2y plus 6 is equal to 0, then it is a linear equation in one variable y. So now look at the example, 3x plus 5. Look at the example 3x plus 5. Now x is the variable, so x is going to be x. Now this 3, the coefficient of x, which is 3, can be any number. It can be any real number other than 0. Consider the example 3x plus 5. In 3x plus 5, x is the variable. So x is going to be x. But the coefficient of x, which is 3, need not be 3. It can be any real value other than 0. So how do you generalize that? We said 3x for an example. How do you generalize that? We say ax. We say ax. X is x. The coefficient x is the variable. X is the variable. Now x, the coefficient of x in the example is 3. 3x. But how do you generalize the coefficient? The coefficient can be any number, right? Other than 0. So we say ax. Coming to the next term, plus 5. It need not be plus 5 always. It can be any real value. In fact, it can even be 0. So how do you generalize that? We say plus b, which means ax plus b, ax plus b, 3x plus 5, ax plus b is the standard form. Ax plus b is the standard form of a linear polynomial in one variable x, where a is the coefficient of x, b is the constant, b can assume any real value including 0. A also can assume any real value but not 0, because if it is 0x, then it ceases to be a linear polynomial. If it is like 0x plus 5, 0x plus 5, then it's no longer a linear polynomial. 0x plus 5 is not a linear polynomial, because when it is 0x, it means there is no x term at all. 0x is 0. So then we have only 5. So, but b can be 0, like 3x plus 5 can be just 3x also. You know that 3x is also an example of a linear polynomial. 3x is an example of a linear polynomial. Variable is x, its power is 1, linear polynomial. So the constant can be 0. The constant can be 0, but the coefficient of x, or the variable, the coefficient of the variable should not, variable x, y, or z should not be 0. So generalizing the example 3x plus 5, generalizing that. In fact, generalizing any other examples we took up, I think I heard x plus 2 and then 2y plus 6. So generalizing these examples, we say ax plus b, where the variable is x, or ay plus b, where the variable is y, or az plus b, where the variable is z. So in general, ax plus b. So ax plus b is the standard form of a linear polynomial in one variable x. Conditions: a can be any real value, but a should not be 0. B also, not B also, sorry. B can be any real value. B can assume any real value. B can assume any real value. A can assume any real value, but not 0. So important condition, A not equal to 0. A should not be equal to 0. A and B are real numbers, but A should not be equal to 0. And when AX plus B is equated to 0, when AX plus B is equated to 0, so AX plus B is equal to 0 is the standard form of a linear equation in one variable X. Was it fine, children?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's read from the screen here. Let's read from here. Ignore this one, children. AX is equal to B because we mostly find this is also true. What you see on the screen, this is also true, but we see AX plus B is equal to 0 in NCERT. So let's just go with this, children. Let's just go with this one. AX plus B. AX plus B is equal to 0. AX plus B is equal to 0, where A and B are real numbers and A is not equal to 0. A should not be equal to 0 is the standard form of a linear equation in one variable. And here the variable is X. One variable meaning one unknown. Is that fine, children? It's exactly what we understood. AX plus B. AX plus B is the standard form of a linear polynomial. AX plus B is equal to 0, where A and B are real numbers. A not equal to 0 is a standard form of a linear equation in one variable. Here in one variable X. So now ignore this one. This is about AX is equal to B. You can just ignore this. So a linear equation in one variable has one and only one solution. Let's understand this. A linear equation in one variable has one and only one solution. What is this? Now let's take the example X plus 2. X plus 2 is equal to 0. Solve and find the value of X. X is equal to minus 2. X is equal to minus 2. Now X is equal to minus 2. Minus 2 is the only solution of the equation X plus 2 is equal to 0. Minus 2 is the only solution. On solving, you get some value for X, right? On solving, we get some value for X. Now, when you solve X plus 2 is equal to 0, we get X is equal to minus 2. Now, minus 2 is the only solution. Minus 2 is the only solution of the equation X plus 2 is equal to 0. What do we understand by that? That means in the equation X plus 2 is equal to 0, in place of X, when you use minus 2, that answer minus 2, the equation is satisfied. Minus 2 plus 2, 0. The equation is satisfied only when X is equal to minus 2. You may have a book and a pen with you, children. So whatever you hear, maybe if you can write the equation and see it in your book, you may understand better. I said X plus 2 is equal to 0. On solving, we get X is equal to minus 2. Now, minus 2 is a solution to this equation. X plus 2 is equal to 0. Why? Because minus 2 is the only value that satisfies the equation. Like take the LHS X plus 2. Take the LHS of the equation X plus 2. Instead of X, use minus 2. So minus 2 plus 2, 0. What's the RHS? 0. When we say the equation is satisfied, the LHS is equal to the RHS. When we say the equation is satisfied, it means the LHS is equal to the RHS. Now try some other value for X other than minus 2. See if the equation is satisfied. Use some other value for X. The LHS is X plus 2. The LHS is X plus 2. Use a different value, not minus 2. You will see that for no other value of X other than minus 2, LHS will be 0. The value of the LHS will. You use 5 plus 2, 7. LHS is 7. RHS is okay. Let's try something else like 3. So 3 plus 2, 5 or negative values also. Minus 3 plus 2 is minus 1, but the RHS is 0. So the equation is satisfied only for this value of x, which is -2. So -2 is the only solution of this linear equation x plus 2 is equal to 0. So clearly a linear equation in one variable x has one and only one solution. Only one solution meaning only one value of x can satisfy the equation. There is only one value for x. There's only one value for x which can satisfy the equation. Now when we solve 3y plus 5 or 3x plus 5, 3x plus 5 is equal to 0. X is equal to -5 by 3. X is equal to -5 by 3. Now this -5 by 3 is the only solution to the linear equation 3y plus 5 is equal to 0. Take up the LHS, 3y plus 5. Use y as -5 by 3. So it will be 3 into -5 by 3 plus 5. 3 and 3 will get cancelled. -5 plus 5, 0. RHS 0. LHS is equal to RHS. Now, only when y takes the value -5 by 3 is the equation satisfied. There is no other value for y which can satisfy the equation, and hence a linear equation in one variable x or y has one and only one solution, because there's only one value of x or y that can satisfy the given equation. So far we have understood the standard form of a linear polynomial, which is ax plus b. Standard form of a linear equation, which is ax plus b is equal to 0. Conditions a and b real numbers, a not equal to 0. How many solutions? One and only one solution, because there's only one value of the variable that can satisfy the equation. Now let's see the graphical representation. How is it graphically represented? Now every linear equation, whether one variable or two variable, can be represented graphically. Now the graphical, when you graphically or geometrically, so this is the algebraic approach. What we just did is the algebraic approach. X is equal to -5 by 3. Now this when whatever answer you get algebraically can be represented geometrically. So what is the geometric representation, or what is the graphical representation of a linear equation in one variable x? In one variable x. Here, please see this portion. Follow the pointer. Look at this one. 2x minus 5 is equal to 0. On solving, we get x is equal to 2.5. All right, don't look at this table, children, for now. For now, don't look at this table. Just here, look here below this number line, x is equal to 2.5. So, or 5 by 2, x is equal to 5 by 2. So you can see here on the number line 0. Since the denominator is 2, we start writing like this: 0, 1 by 2, 2 by 2, 3 by 2, 4 by 2, 5 by 2, 6 by 2, 7 by 2, 8 by 2. And on the other side, -1 by 2, because the denominator is 2. So -1 by 2, -2 by 2, -3 by 2, -4 by 2, and so on. Now x is equal to 5 by 2. Where is it here? X is equal to 5 by 2. So just mark off, like highlight that point, make the point bigger, and write x is equal to 5 by 2. X is equal to 5 by 2. So graphically, the solution is represented by a point on the number line. X is equal to 2.5 or x is equal to 5 by 2. So if you have to represent this graphically, you just have to represent the solution by a point on the number line. This is the number line. And where is 1 here? See, this 2 by 2 is 1. This 2 by 2 is 1. So you'll be marking 0, 1, right? 1. Then this 2 by 2 is 1. This is 1 by 2. Now where is 2? This is 1. Where is 2? I've written here. See here. 2 by 2 is 1. 4 by 2 is 2. 6 by 2 is 3. 8 by 2 is 4. And out here, this is -1 and -2. So we are talking about this example. On solving this, we get 5 by 2. Geometrically, it is a point on the number line. Show the number line and show the divisions like this. Denominator is 2, so we choose to write it like this: 1 by 2, 2 by 2. We always start with 1. Supposing the denominator was 7, then you will see in the other examples, children. So supposing it's 7, it will be like 1 by 7, 2 by 7, 3 by 7, 4 by 7, 5 by 7, 6 by 7, 7 by 7, which is 1. 7 by 7, which is 1. Then 14 by 7 will be 2. 21 by 7 will be 3. All right. So this is what it is. This is what it is. So now you've also seen how to represent the solution on a number line. X is equal to 5 by 2, number line, show the markings, and 5 by 2, highlight that point and write X is equal to 5 by 2. Graphical representation. Now, every linear equation in one variable, moving ahead, every linear equation in one variable can also be treated as a linear equation in two variables. A linear equation in one variable, what we just saw, can also be treated as a linear equation in two variables. If you treat the same thing, now if you treat the same thing, the same equation, if you treat the same equation as a linear equation in two variables x and y, let's see what happens. If you treat the same thing as a linear equation in two variables x and y, then see it here. You can see it's the same example, children. 2x minus 5 is equal to 0. 2x minus 5 is equal to 0. And here, this is an equation in one variable x. If you treat the same thing, as an equation in two variables x and y, this is how we write it. See it, 2x, you can see 2x there. Y is absent. So it's absent, then it's absent. But how do you show its absence? It's absent, but how do you show its absence? By writing 0y. 0y. 0, no, it's not 0.y, it's 0 into y. So 2x plus 0y, meaning no y term. Minus 5 is equal to 0. This one is an example of a linear equation in one variable x. When you write this in this form, you're treating the same equation as a linear equation in two variables x and y. Now, in the next example, you can see there is y there. There's y, x is missing. See, these are examples. Children, what you see here are examples of linear equations in one variable x or y. This one here, what you see, please follow the pointer. What you see here are examples of linear equations in one variable x or y. The same thing is rewritten here, treating it as a linear equation in two variables x and y. So if x is missing, 0x. If y is missing, 0y. Now, the graphical representation is different. Now, when you treat it as an equation in one variable x, then it's a point on the number line. But when you treat it as an equation in two variables x and y, it's given by a straight line in the Cartesian plane. It's given by a straight line. The same equation, if you treat it as a linear equation in two variables x and y, the graphical representation is different. Because in this case, it will have infinitely many solutions. In this case, here it has only one solution. Here it has only one solution. In this case, it will have infinitely many solutions. So we'll see. We'll understand that. In this case, it has only one solution. And the solution for x is 5 by 2. Graphical representation like this on the, it's a point on the number line. The same thing when you write it as an equation in two variables x and y, the graphical representation varies because this one has infinitely many solutions. This one has only one solution, while this one has infinitely many solutions, and it's represented by a straight line on the Cartesian plane. A linear equation in two variables x and y is represented by a straight line on the Cartesian plane, that is in the xy axis. X-axis and y-axis, xy axis. Read this again. A linear equation in one variable can also be treated as a linear equation in two variables. This can be represented as a line parallel to the x-axis or parallel to the y-axis, or it could represent the x-axis or the y-axis itself in the Cartesian plane. We have some examples we'll be understanding using them. A linear equation in one variable can also be treated as a linear equation in two variables. So you can see examples of linear equations in one variable here, x or y, and you treat them, you rewrite them as linear equations in two variables, x and y. Here the graph, the geometric representation is a point on the number line when it has only one variable, x or y. But when you treat it as a equation in two variables, x and y, since it has infinitely many solutions, it is a straight line in the Cartesian plane. So how will the lines behave when you treat a linear equation in one variable as a linear equation in two variables? How will the lines behave? That's what is mentioned here. This can be represented. So these lines, how will these lines behave? How will these lines behave? This can be represented as a line parallel to the x-axis. So the lines, they may be parallel to the x-axis, or they may be parallel to the y-axis, or it could represent the x-axis or the y-axis itself in the Cartesian plane. So we have only these possibilities. When you treat a linear equation in one variable, x or y, as a linear equation in two variables, x and y, here it's a point on the number line, while this one is represented by a straight line. This one is represented by a straight line because it has many solutions. Here only one solution, so it's a point on the number line. Here it will have many solutions. It's represented by a straight line in the Cartesian plane. Now, how will that line behave? What are the possibilities? How will that line behave? That line can either be parallel to the x-axis, or that line can be parallel to the y-axis, or that line can represent the because x-axis and y-axis themselves are straight lines. X-axis itself is a straight line. Y-axis itself is a straight line. X-axis is a straight line. Y-axis is a straight line. So the lines may be parallel to the x-axis or parallel to the y-axis, or that equation can represent the x-axis itself or the y-axis itself. Now we'll understand all these with the help of the examples here. I'll just give you some time to just see how these equations in one variable, x or y, are represented as equations in two variables, x and y. I'll just wait for 2 minutes, children. I hope I was audible all the while.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, children.
Yes,
Please,
ma'am.
please, yeah, children. Yeah. Please see the two columns, children.
Ma'am, do we have to write all this, ma'am?
No, I'll share the material. When I'm giving some examples, I said to understand better, you have to make a note in your book so that you can, see it and understand better. These I'll be sharing the material. You can write later. So when you look at this one, root 3x minus 7 is equal to 0. Root 3x, x is the variable. It's not root of 3x. It's root 3x. The power of x is 1. The power of x is 1. Linear. The coefficient of x is root 3. That's okay. It's a real number. Root 3 is a real number. So ax plus b. What's the value of b? In this example, what's the value of b?
7, ma'am.
You're comparing it with what? You're comparing this with what? What is the standard form of a linear equation in one variable x? Yes, please tell me, what is the standard form of a linear equation in one variable x?
Ax plus b is equated to 0.
Ax plus b is equal to 0. So when you compare this with ax plus b equal to 0, compare ax. So a is root 3 plus b, but this is minus 7. So the value of b is minus 7 plus b is equal to minus 7. So b is minus 7. So the value of a is the standard form is ax plus b. Ax plus b is equal to 0, where a is root 3 and b is minus 7. Now here you should use the standard form as ay plus b. You shouldn't say ax plus b. Ay plus b is equal to 0. Y is the variable. What's the value of a? Here in this example, what's the value of a?
Root 11.
Root 11. And the value of b is?
Root 5.
Root 5.
Yeah. Please compare with ax plus b is equal to 0 or ax plus b is equal to 0 or ay plus b is equal to 0. Change it according to the variable involved. Yeah. All right. So now this is x is equal to 0. X is equal to 0. So how do you represent x is equal to 0? This one. This is 0, right? So x is equal to 0 here. X is equal to 0. All right, children. So you see the various examples here. You can see here there's only one variable x. So we introduce y by saying 0y. Here there's only one variable y. So we introduce x by saying 0x. Then there is no y, so we say 0y. There is no x, so we say 0x. So like that it goes. And here y, so there's no x term, so 0x. Yeah, I hope the two columns are clear. And then this one is represented by a point on the number line. While the same equations, when you treat them like this in two variables, they don't have the same representation. They don't have the same geometric representation. Now these are straight lines. On the graph paper, these are straight lines. These are straight lines. How? We'll see that. So we'll take an example one by one, children. So this is the first one. This is the first one. We just discussed this, that when you treat it as an equation in one variable x, it's a point on the number line. We understood this. We already discussed this. Now look at this table. This table applies for this one. This table applies for this one, all these equations here. Now look at this table. So this table is when you treat this equation as an equation on two variables x and y. So this one, 2x plus 0y minus 5 is equal to 0. This table is for this one. See, this is one example. This is one example. See, for this, you can see the geometric representation here. This one, the first one here, this one. Now, when you treat this like this, how do we prepare this table?
A doubt, ma'am.
No, I haven't finished. Please wait. So when you treat this equation, when you treat the same equation as an equation on two variables x and y, what happens? We need to make a table like this. I'll tell you how to prepare this table. So the two variables are x and y. The two variables are x and y. The two variables are x and y. Now, what happens is, now when you solve this, what do you get? X is equal to 5 by 2, right? X is equal to 5 by 2. Now, in place of x, right, meaning x can be 5, x will be 5 by 2 always, irrespective of the value of y. X will be 5 by 2. X is always 5 by 2. For any value of y, you give any value for y. Now you see, these will satisfy the equation. Just see them here. Take up the equation. In place of x, use 5 by 2. In place of x, use 5 by 2. What will you get? 5 by 2. So 2 and 2 cancels. You'll get 5 here. There's 5 here. There is 5 here. Then in place of y, say 0. So 0 it is. So this is 5 minus 5. 0. The equation is satisfied. The equation is satisfied. Whenever you're treating an equation in one variable as an equation on two variables, it's very easy to make this table. What you have to do is, what is that value you got when you solve 5 by 2? So x will always be 5 by 2. X will always be 5 by 2 for any value of y. You don't have to check at all these values. Now when you take this pair 5 by 2 and minus 1, when you take the pair 5 by 2 and minus 1 and use it in the LHS, when take a pair of values 5 by 2 and minus 1, that is, in place of x you say 5 by 2 and in place of y you say minus 1. Work the LHS, the equation will be satisfied. That's because there is 0 y. Whatever be the value for y, it's anyways going to be 0. The value of y is not going to alter the value of x. The value of y is not going to alter the value of x. See, you give different values for y, okay? You give different values for y. What is it ultimately going to be? 0. So this is going to be 0. Let y be minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, or 100, 200, whatever. Into 0 is 0. So when you solve, you get x is equal to 5 by 2. That's why for any value of y, whatever be the value of y, x is always going to be 5 by 2. Let me repeat that. I said use any value for y. It's 0 y. So say y is 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 by 2, 7 by 2, 100, whatever, root 3 by root 5, whatever be the value of y, into 0 is 0. So on solving, you will get 2x plus 0. Look at the 0. 2x plus 0 minus 5. So which is 2x minus 5 is equal to 0. X is equal to 5 by 2. Okay. I've tried my best. Now you have to think for yourself. So whatever be the value of y, the value of x will always be 5 by 2. That is what you see in the table here. X is always 5 by 2. X is always 5 by 2, irrespective of the value of y. You give any value for y. See, now you have to take, when you're making a graph, there are some limitations. Correct? There are some limitations. So we choose smaller values like this. So when y is 0, x is 5 by 2. When y is minus 1, x is 5 by 2. When y is 1, x is 5 by 2. It's like either you substituted and you found. It's like you substituted y minus 1. When you substitute y as minus 1, 2x minus 5 is equal to 0, x is equal to 5 by 2, and you got 5 by 2. Then you took y as 0. You took y as 0. When you work that, you get x is equal to 5 by 2. That's what you write here. Then when you took y as 1, you worked and you got x as 5 by 2. So whatever be the value of y, the value of x will be 5 by 2. So this equation must be written in this form, and you don't have to actually calculate to make this table. So it's minimum you need to take a minimum of 3 pairs. 3 pairs. See, a 5 by 2 comma minus 1 is 1 pair, 5 by 2 comma 0, then 5 by 2 comma 1. You need to take a minimum of 3. Minus 1 is 0. So 2x minus 5 is equal to 0, x is equal to 5 by 2. So when y is 1, x is 5 by 2. Similarly, when y is 0, x is 5 by 2. Y is 1, x is 5 by 2. Now what you have to do is take your graph paper or graph book, show the x and y axis, mark off 1 to 3 is enough. 1 to 3 on on the x axis, 1 to 3 minus 1 to 3. Then on the y axis also just make a few markings and plot these points, children. Plot these points. Plot 2.5 comma minus 1, 2.5 comma 0, 2.5 comma 1. Plot these points. Join the points. The points must be collinear. That is, you must be able to connect the points by the same straight line. You must be able to connect the points by the same straight line. Yes. Do that. Just a rough work to understand the meaning. Just a very rough work. Graph paper, just show the x and y axis. Show the markings 1 to 3, minus 1 to minus 2, minus 3. And plot these points. Plot 2.5 comma minus 1. 2.5 on the x axis, minus 1 on the y axis. I want you to plot it carefully. Join the 3 points by a straight line, and I want you to give your comment about that straight line you got. Are we done, children?
No, ma'am, one second.
Yeah. 2.5 on the x-axis. That is between 2 and 3. Between 2 and 3. And minus 1 on the y-axis. That intersection will be the point. 2.5 on the x-axis, 1 minus 1. It will be below. In which quadrant does it lie? In which quadrant does the point 2.5 comma minus 1 lie? First, second, third, fourth quadrant. Children, looks like a
Second.
lazy Sunday.
Second, ma'am.
No, darling. 2.5
Sorry,
comma
ma'am. Fourth.
fourth quadrant. Yeah. 2.5 comma minus 1 lies in the fourth quadrant. What about 2.5 comma 0? 2.5 comma 0. Where does it lie?
First, ma'am.
No.
Ma'am, third.
No.
Ma'am,
2.5 comma 0. Where does it lie?
ma'am, x-axis.
Very good. Very good. It lies on the x-axis. It doesn't lie in any quadrant. So on the Cartesian plane, you know, these are the different regions in the Cartesian plane. There are the four quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4 quadrants, and the x-axis and y-axis itself. It's like you're playing a game. You're standing on the line, on the x-axis. You are not in any quadrant then. You're standing on the x-axis. The point 2.5 comma 0 is plotted on the x-axis itself. It's not in any quadrant. It's neither in the first quadrant nor in the fourth quadrant. Very good. Kanishka or Deepika, your voices are similar.
Kanishka, ma'am.
Yeah, Kanishka, thank you for that one, Kanishka. Very good. Very good. So 2.5 comma minus 1. 2.5 comma minus 1 lies in the fourth quadrant. That point lies in the fourth quadrant. 2.5 comma, so talking about the different compartments in the Cartesian plane. So we have the first, so a point can lie in the first quadrant, a point can lie in the second quadrant, third quadrant, or fourth quadrant, or it may lie on the x-axis or the y-axis itself. These are the 6 locations in the Cartesian plane. It can be, a point can be located in the first quadrant, second quadrant, third, fourth, or the x-axis and y-axis itself. All right, now what about 2.5 comma 1? Which quadrant? Where does it lie? 2.5 comma 1.
First, ma'am.
2.5 comma 1. When you plot it, it lies in the first quadrant. So on plotting these 3 points, we have the first pair, this first pair, 5 by 2 comma minus 1 lying in the fourth quadrant. 5 by 2 comma 0 lying on the x-axis, 5 by 2 comma 1 lying in the first quadrant. Now join these 3 points. Don't connect them, meaning extend it. It's a line. You can just extend it freely. And I'll be happy to see some pictures on WhatsApp. If possible, share your work on WhatsApp. Yes, now we haven't concluded. What happened? Are you able to connect the 3 points by a straight line?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, I have marked 2.5 comma minus 1 and 2.5 comma 0, ma'am. What else I have to mark, ma'am?
What do you see here? What's this one?
5 by 2.
That is 2.5.
Yes.
This one, yeah. Yes, now Shreyas, you had to ask me something.
Ma'am, in the 2 variables, that in example 1 variable and 2 variable, no ma'am. Ma'am, the first 2 variable is 2x plus 0.y. You have written like 0.y, ma'am, or it's 0y.
Yeah, 0y is written as 0.5. I did tell you about that. It's 0. It's written like that, 0.y, which means multiplication. 0y. It's 0y. That's how
Okay,
it.
ma'am.
Yeah. I did clarify that. Probably you missed that one. I did tell you 0 y is written as 0. There's a dot between 0 and y, indicating multiplication. It's not the decimal point like 1.5, 2.5. It's not the decimal point. 0 into y is written as 0, and there is a dot between 0 and y, indicating 0 into y.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Arav, is that over?
Yes,
2.5,
ma'am.
1.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, are you able to connect the 3 points by the same straight line?
1 minute, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, it is possible.
Yes, ma'am. Can connect, ma'am.
Okay, Arav, where does the point, in which quadrant does the point, does this point 5 by 2 comma minus 1 lie? 2.5 comma minus 1, which quadrant?
Ma'am, can I?
No, Arav.
Ma'am, fourth quadrant, ma'am.
What about the next pair? This pair?
2.5 comma 0 lies on first ma'am x-axis.
On the x-axis. What about
Yes,
the next
ma'am.
one? 5 by 2 comma 1?
Ma'am, 2.5 comma 1 lies on first quadrant, ma'am.
Lies in the first quadrant. Now, were you able to connect all these 3 points by the same straight line?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, I want your comment. Class, comment on that. How do you express the result you've got? Like, for example,
Ma'am, it's a linear graph, ma'am.
No, 1 minute. I'll just tell you. Like, say you're traveling to, some place by train. You're traveling to Delhi by train, and somebody calls you to check, where you are at that moment. So you say, I'll reach Delhi in the next half an hour or 1 hour, or you will say we are midway. We have still half the distance to cover. So that's how you will be answering, or probably you will mention the name of the junction you were at that time. So like that, comment, give your what do you feel? How do you think you can comment about the line you've got? You can comment with respect to the x-axis and y-axis. You can give your comment with respect to the x-axis or the y-axis. Like, so you may say that I'm, we are still 10 kilometers away from Delhi, or we are still 10 kilometers away from Delhi, or you can say 100 kilometers away from Delhi. We'll reach Delhi in the next 45 minutes. So with respect to Delhi, right? With respect to Delhi, we say we are some 100 kilometers away from Delhi, 45 minutes to reach Delhi. So now, in the same way, use the x-axis and y-axis, use the distance. X-axis is a straight line, y-axis is a straight line. You have a new straight line. What is your conclusion about the new straight line with respect to the straight lines in the graph, x or y-axis?
Ma'am, the line is. Ma'am?
Yeah, tell me, I'm listening. Yes.
The line is the distance between the x-axis and y-axis. Sorry, the distance between the line and y-axis is equal to 2.5 meters. Like
units. 2.5 units. Okay, that is one thing. The distance between the y-axis and that line is 2.5 units. Okay, then what else?
The line is parallel to the y-axis and is perpendicular to the x-axis.
Very good. Yeah, the line is parallel to the y-axis. That's another conclusion. The line is parallel to the y-axis. Then the line is at a distance of 2.5 units. Now, when we say 2.5 units, we are not sure which side. 2.5 units, we have two sides, no? To the left or right?
Left.
Is that line which you got at a distance of 2.5 units to the right of the y-axis or to the left? Because there are this two positions, right? When you say 2.5 units, which side? Left side or right side?
Left, ma'am.
Right side.
Right. So these are this is how you would describe the line which you've got. This is how you would describe the line you got. So the line 2x plus 0y minus 5 is equal to 0. The line is parallel to the y-axis at a distance of 2.5 units to the right of it. This is how you describe that line. This is how you describe that line. Now, this, when you treat it as an equation in one variable x, it is just a point on the number line. The same equation, when you treat it as an equation in two variables x and y, it can be represented, or it is represented by a straight line in the Cartesian plane. To get that straight line in the Cartesian plane, you need to make this xy table. You need to assume some values of y and find the corresponding values of x, or you can assume values for x and find the corresponding values of y. What did we do here? We assumed some values for y because y is 0y, right? So it's more convenient to work. So 0y. So we assume some values for y, where we found when y is -1, when y is 0, when y is 1. So for any value of y, we found that the value of x is always 5 by 2. X is always 5 by 2. It's exactly this which we got here. So x is always 5 by 2. For any value of y, whatever be the value of y, you see that x is 5 by 2. So we prepared this table and we understood that we need a minimum of 3 pairs to plot. So now we plotted 5 by 2, -1, then 5 by 2, 0, 5 by 2, 1. So like this, we got 3 points on the graph paper. And these 3 points are collinear. You were able to connect them by the same straight line. And now our conclusions about the line, the new line which we've got. That line is given by this equation. 2x plus 0y minus 5 is equal to 0. Our conclusions are these. I'm just repeating whatever I got from you. So Kanishka said the line is at a distance of 2.5 units from the y-axis. So we can just add a little more to it. So the new line is at a distance of 2.5 units to the right side of the. So maybe Kanishka thought to the y-axis is to the left of the line. Y-axis is to the left of the line. We are putting it like this. I understood. Yeah, you thought that way. I understood you. Yeah. So the new line is at a distance of 2.5 units to the right of the y-axis. Y-axis has right side and left side. Y-axis has the right side and left side. This new line is to the right side of the y-axis. And it's parallel to the y-axis. That is what, these are the conclusions. So the new line is parallel to the y-axis at a distance of 2.5 units to the right of it. You can see it here. So when you treat it as, please follow the pointer. So when you treat this equation as an equation on two variables x and y, it is a line parallel to the y-axis at a distance of 5 by 2 units to the right of it. Right of it meaning right of the y-axis. Right of it meaning right of the y-axis. Yeah, try this one, children. Do this one. Do this one, which you see here. The example is 5y plus 12 is equal to 0. One variable, then y is equal to minus 2.4. Take the fraction minus 12 by 5. So minus 12 by 5 number line, the denominator is 5. So where is 0? There is 0 here. Please look at the screen. There is 0 here. There's 0 here. The denominator is 5. So we choose to mark like this: 1 by 5, 2 by 5, 3 by 5, 4 by 5, 5 by 5. 5 by 5 is 1. 5 by 5 is 1. But we are not interested in the markings, the positive ones, because this is minus 12 by 5. So we'll go to the other side, the left side. Minus 1 by 5, minus 2 by 5, minus 3 by 5, goes on like that. And here you see minus 12 by 5. Minus 12 by 5. Y is equal to minus 12 by 5. So see, this minus 5 by 5 is minus 1. This minus 5 by 5 is minus 1. This minus 10 by 5 is minus 2. All right, so this is when you treat it as a linear equation in one variable y. In one variable y, the geometrical representation goes like this. What if you treat this as 0x plus 5y plus 12 is equal to 0? Because y is there, x is not there, so let's call it 0x. 0x plus 5y plus 12 is equal to 0. When you treat it as an equation in two variables, then we need to prepare this xy table. Since y is minus 12 by 5, it means y is always minus 12 by 5 for any value of x. We're getting y is minus 12 by 5. So y is always minus 12 by 5 for any value of x, any value. Here we have just taken 0, minus 1 and 1. You can also check. So here in this equation, in place of x, give different values for x. You give for x because it's 0x. No, it's easy. 0x. Give different values for x. So supposing x is 1. If x is 1, follow the pointer. If x is 1, 0 into 1 is 0. So when x is 1, what is y? 5y plus 12 is equal to 0. Y is equal to minus 12 by 5. Give some other value for x. Anyways, it's going to become 0. Give some other value for x. Anyways, it will be 0. So y will be again minus 12 by 5. Whatever be the value for x, y will be minus 12 by 5. That's what it is here. You don't have to show the calculations. It's understood. Y is minus 12 by 5. That means y is always minus 12 by 5 for any value of x. Any value of x. Now plot these points on the graph paper, children. We'll discuss in which quadrants they lie or if they lie on any axis. Please do this. I'm just coming back in a moment. I'll get back and tell you. Please do the graph. I've got the first graph from Sangamitra. You're right, Sangamitra. Kindly produce the line. It's a line. It's not a line segment.
Okay.
Please produce it and show arrows on either ends. I think I didn't mention that. Let's be liberal. Let's just produce the line. We see it as a line segment. Just it's a line. Extend it on both the sides and use arrows. Kanishka, same thing for the first graph. Ananya, yeah, Ananya is right. You've indicated the arrows. Yeah, it's right. But you can just make it bigger. That's all. It's fine. Now it's a rough work. That's fine. You don't have to make any changes now. Good, Ananya. Good, Sangamitra. Kanishka.
Ma'am, we have to send photo, ma'am.
Yeah, I did mention, no?
Yes, ma'am.
No, there's no compulsion. See, if that's going to be an inconvenience, don't do it. If you have to go and ask your parents for something and disturb them, don't do it. If there is a phone lying beside you and you can just take a picture, if it's convenient, do it. Don't disturb the family.
Ma'am, I can't send photo, ma'am, but I can tell what is the answers, ma'am.
Yeah, I'll ask you. Okay.
Ma'am, send
Yeah.
second one. Pic, ma'am.
I'm just having a look, Kanishka. Yeah. All right. So where does the first point lie, children? -1, comma, -2.4. The first point. -1.
Ma'am, third
Ma'am,
quadrant.
third quadrant.
-1, comma, -2.4.
Third
2.4
quadrant.
is 2.4 is after -2, it is -2.1, -2.2, -2.3, -2.4. Okay, so -1, comma, -2.4 lies in the third quadrant. That's right. What about 0, comma, -2.4? 0.
Y-axis, ma'am.
Yeah.
Y-axis, ma'am.
Y-axis 0, comma, when you plot 0, comma, -2.4. 0, comma, -2.4. It lies on the y-axis. The point lies on the y-axis at -2.4. And what about 1, comma, -2.4?
Fourth quadrant, ma'am.
1, comma, -2.4 lies in the fourth quadrant. So we have this point lying in the third quadrant, this point lying in the third quadrant, this one on the y-axis itself, and this one in the fourth quadrant. Now, these 3 points which you've got are collinear, must be collinear. Otherwise, somewhere we are wrong in the table or plotting. Somewhere we have gone wrong. The 3 points will be collinear. So now connect the 3 points. Using a scale, connect the 3 points by a straight line. Indicate arrows on either ends, showing that it's a line, it's not a line segment. Now let's comment about this line. How do we say this?
Ma'am, it is parallel, ma'am.
So first we say it's parallel. So this line which you got is parallel to which axis, x-axis or y-axis?
X-axis, ma'am.
It's parallel to the x-axis. What distance? Now when you say x-axis, you cannot say left and right. You must say above and below. With respect to the y-axis, we have right and left. With respect to the x-axis, we have above and below. There is some region above the x-axis, there is some region below the y-axis. Yeah, now tell me.
Ma'am, it is below the x-axis, ma'am.
Below the x-axis. So you can see it here also. 5y plus 12 is equal to 0. When you treat this equation as a linear equation in 2 variables x and y, it is a line parallel to the x-axis at a distance of see, you should not say -2.4 units because distance is not negative. Distance is positive. Y is -2.4, but don't say at a distance of -2.4 units. Okay, so at a distance of 2.4 units, below it, below the x-axis. Below the x-axis. See now, if it is given, if supposing with respect to the x-axis, it's given distance minus 2.4 units. Sometimes, rarely that also, meaning we come across questions like that also. Supposing it's given below, it's given that it's parallel to the x-axis at a distance of minus 2.4 units. So minus means below. Minus meaning below. That's what you have to understand. Supposing you come across a question where it is minus 2 at a distance of minus 2.4 units, then the word above below will not be mentioned. Will not be mentioned because minus 2.4 itself means below. If it's above, it will be only 2.4 units. So just remember that also in case there's a minus sign with respect to distance. When you have minus, it means it's below. All right. So the same thing applies to the other examples, children. See now this point, I've just for the sake of helping you understand how to show minus 7/4. I've taken numbers like these. Now this number cannot be precisely plotted on the on a graph paper, because this will be between 1.7 and 1.8. I'm just telling you why I took examples like this. Now look at the third one. For 4x plus 7 is equal to 0. I took this example so that you get when you get the denominator as 4, just to help you represent on the number line. I took different denominators. To help you, understand how to represent it on the number line. So when it is minus 7/4, so we say minus 1/4, minus 2/4, minus 3/4 like that. Look at the next one. 10y minus 11 is equal to 0. Then we say here it's 11/10. All right, 11/10. So we say I have not written 1/10, but there is that 1/10, then 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10. So like that, here is 11/10. 10/10 is 1. 10/10 is 1. 10/10 is 1. Then this is 11/10 and 12/10 like that. So I took different denominators just to show how we mark off the points on the number line. Okay. Now I want you to plot. So you may not be able to plot this. Minus 7/4 is minus 1.75. So minus 1.75, you should just mark between minus 1.7 and minus 1.8. Graph paper. All right. So please try all this. This one and this one for yourself. 3 and 4. That is this one. 4x plus 7 is equal to 0 and 10y minus 11 is equal to 0. Please help yourself. So when you do this, or no children, I'll change my mind. Let's plot it now in the class. Let's do it. Let's just make it fast. I'm not saying anything much because this is in one variable x and this is for two variables x and y. You can see it here. X is minus 7/4, meaning x will always be minus 7/4 for any value of y. I've just taken minus 505 for a change. X is minus 7/4. X will always be minus 7/4 for any value of y. You can in this equation, in place of y, use any value. Use any value. You will see that x will always be minus 7/4. So this is the table. Plot these points. Quickly plot these points. Let's discuss the quadrants.
Ma'am, where to plot that minus 1/75?
That's what. So minus 1.75 is treated as minus. It will be between 1.7 and 1.8. Between 1.7 and 1.8. You cannot find its location exactly. You just have to put it between them. Between 1.7 and 1.8.
Of decimals, can we use fractions?
Can we? On the graph, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Not conventional, that's all. It's not conventional. So we'll not do it. So on the graph paper, we'll mark as usual 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. And then this 1.75 will be between 1.7 and 1.8.
Ma'am, completed, ma'am.
Yeah. You've shared your picture?
Ma'am, I'm gonna share, ma'am.
Yeah, please do that. Yeah.
Ma'am, finished, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, Kanishka, I have not got your picture. Okay, let's discuss. Yeah, okay, got it just now. Yeah. Yeah, see when you 1 point. Yeah, you're right. Good, Kanishka, you're right. Yeah, children, now where does the point minus 1.75 comma minus 5 lie? Which quadrant?
Ma'am, third quadrant, ma'am.
Third quadrant. Minus 7 by 4, which is minus 1.75, and minus 5. When you plot it, when you plot this point, it lies in the third quadrant. What about minus 7 by 4 comma 0?
X-axis, ma'am.
It lies on the x-axis. On the x-axis. And this one?
Ma'am, second quadrant.
This lies in the second quadrant. So when we join the 3 points by a straight line, we see that the line is parallel to the y-axis at a distance of 7 by 4 units to the left of it, to the left of the y-axis. We see that the line obtained is parallel to the y-axis at a distance of 7 by 4 units to the left of it, to the left of it. So left is sometimes mentioned as minus 7 by 4 units. Left is sometimes mentioned as minus 7 by 4 units. If minus is used, then the word left will not be used. Meaning for the words right and above, which are positive, right side, above, these are positive. Nothing specific there. But when it is when the distance is to the left or below, instead of left they might even use minus 7 by 4, or if it is below, the word the sign minus may be used. So if distance is negative, it may be to the left or it may be below, depending on the case.
Ma'am, I sent you a photo, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, Arun, correct.
Yes, ma'am.
But the thing is, you know, you haven't just look at -4 and -5 where you've shown -4 and -5. Because I think it's a rough work, you just made it fast. Should I take it that way?
Yes, ma'am. I didn't see to like put that in the correct thing. Just rough.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to check if that was ignorance or just like that you did it. Good. Okay, that's what. So you know it, but just in a hurry. All right. Okay, Sangamitra, you have shown -1.75, comma -1, -1.75, comma 0, and -1.75, comma 1. That's fine, Sangamitra, you're right. Ananya is also shared. Very good. Good, Ananya, Sangamitra, Arav, and Kanishka. Good. All right, children. So in the same way, help yourself with this one, the fourth one. This 4x plus 7 is equal to 0. So since y is 11 by 10, y will always be 11 by 10. Y is 11 by 10. So y is always 11 by 10 for any value of x. Whatever value you give for x. I told you when it is 0x, you know, you give different value. Wherever the coefficient is 0, there you give the values. So 0x, try to give different values for x. Anyways, it's going to be 0. So y will always be 11 by 10. Y will always be 11 by 10. So y is equal to 11 by 10 means y is always 11 by 10 for any value of x. And when you plot these points, you will see that the line obtained is parallel to the x-axis at a distance of 11 by 10 units above it. So these are the positions. You can get a line. The lines can be, so that explains what was mentioned here. All these examples explain the different situations. So when you treat it as a linear equation in one variable can also be treated as a linear equation in two variables. When you treat it as a linear equation in two variables, it can be represented as a line parallel to the x-axis or parallel to the y-axis, or it could represent the x-axis or the y-axis itself. So that we are still to see in the last two examples. So we saw different cases where the lines are parallel to the x-axis or the y-axis. And if it is x-axis, it can be above or below it. If it is y-axis, it can be to the left or right of it. We have seen one example in each case. The lines can be parallel to the x-axis or to the y-axis. If they are parallel to the x-axis, it can be above the x-axis or below the x-axis. If they are parallel to the if the line is parallel to the y-axis, it can be to the right of the y-axis or to the left of the y-axis. Or the lines can be the x-axis and the x-axis or the y-axis itself. So that's what you see in these two examples. This, you know, I've just given as an example, children. We didn't try to plot because we have real values, and there is a limitation when it is a graph. You cannot plot this. Cannot plot meaning you have to take approximate values and plot. So this one I've just given for the sake of an example, that the coefficients can also be any real value like √3, √11. All right, now we are looking at this example. Y is equal to 0, x is equal to 0. You can see 6 in all here. You cannot see the graph though. You had to do it for yourself. So you can see 6 examples. This is just for the sake of an example. Don't try to put this on a graph paper. Now these 6 examples, we finished the first 4. The first 4 we finished. Now look at this. Y is equal to 0, x is equal to 0. So y is equal to 0. If you treat this as an equation in one variable y, then see this is y is equal to 0. X is equal to 0. Yeah, this is x is equal to 0. Number line, wherever you mark 0, there it is, x is equal to 0 or y is equal to 0. So this is how you represent when you treat the equations as an equation in one variable x or y. One variable x or y. Now if you treat them as linear equations in two variables x and y, then this y is equal to 0 is written as 0x plus y is equal to 0. Or this is written as x plus 0y. See, here we have y, here we have x. So in this case, x is missing, so 0x. Here y is missing, so 0y is equal to 0. Now take this one, where y is 0, where y is 0. If it's one variable, you can see the number line here. If it's two variables, that means y is always 0. Y is always 0 for any value of x. Any value of x, y is always 0. Y is equal to 0 means y is always 0 for any value of x. For any value of x. You can try it here also. This is the equation. You give different values for x. You give different values for x. Because it's 0x, no, so we'll give values for x. Whatever be the value of x, you give x as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, minus 8, minus 5, whatever, it's anyways going to become 0. Y is 0. So whatever be the value of x, y will always be 0. Y is always 0 for any value of x. You give some particular value for x, minus 5. Suppose x is minus 5. Or like what we've taken here, x is minus 8. So x is minus 8. X is minus 8. Work it 0 into minus 8 plus y is equal to 0. So this is 0 plus y is equal to 0. So y is equal to 0. So when x is minus 8, y is 0. When x is minus 8, y is 0. In fact, you will see that y is always 0 for any value of x. Now plot this, children.
Ma'am, it lies in the x-axis, ma'am.
And let me just finish this also. So x is equal to 0. When you treat it as an equation on two variables like this, it means x will always be 0. X is always 0 for any value of y. You give different values for y and check, x will always be 0. The value of x will always be 0 for different values of y. Now plot both, children. Plot both. Let's just wait for some time. We'll give time for others to finish. Plot both, children. Is it over, children? All right, we're going to discuss this now. Where does the point minus 8, 0 lie? Minus 8, 0.
Ma'am, it lies on the x-axis, ma'am.
Yeah, minus 8, 0 on the x-axis. What about 0, 0?
On the x-axis, ma'am.
So this we cannot say x-axis or y-axis because it's the origin. 0, 0 is the 0, 0 represents the coordinate of the origin. So for this we will not say x or y-axis. We'll just say origin. Origin means it lies. See, it lies on the x-axis as well as the y-axis. It lies both on x and y-axis. Okay, so this one minus 8, 0 on the x-axis. 0, 0 is the origin. What about 7, 0? Where does it lie?
On the x-axis, ma'am.
On the x-axis. Now, when you try to connect these 3 points, what will you get? Are you getting a new line? No, you're getting the x-axis itself. When you join these 3 points, the line coincides with the x-axis itself. The line coincides with the line x-axis itself. Which means y is equal to 0 is the equation of the x-axis. Y is equal to 0. That's the conclusion. Y is equal to 0. X-axis itself is a straight line. The equation of the x-axis is y is equal to 0. Please remember this. The equation of the x-axis is y is equal to 0. When we say y is equal to 0, this equation represents the x-axis itself when treated as a linear equation in 2 variables x and y. If this is treated as a linear equation in 1 variable y, then it's a point on the number line. In 2 variables x and y, it is the equation of the x-axis itself. X-axis is a straight line. The equation of the x-axis is y is equal to 0. Similarly, when we plot this, when we plot these points 0, -3, 0, 0, 0, 4 and join them by a straight line, we will see that the line coincides with the y-axis itself. Y-axis. So x is equal to 0. X is equal to 0 is the equation of the y-axis. X is equal to 0 is the equation of the y-axis. So further, when we say x is equal to 0, you need not now, meaning when we are making graphs, and you come across this equation x is equal to 0, it need not be mentioned that you should treat it as an equation in 2 variables. It's understood. When we are working with graphs and we see x is equal to 0 or y is equal to 0, it's understood that x is equal to 0 is the equation of the y-axis. We are treating it as an equation in 2 variables. This is understood. Because when we are working with graphs, we have 2 variables. We have 2 axes x and y. So when we come across x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0 while making graphs, x is equal to 0 is the equation of the y-axis and y is equal to 0 is the equation of the x-axis. So this forms your homework. Let's have a quick look at all the questions. Solve this equation and represent the solutions in the Cartesian plane on the number line. Cartesian plane meaning treated as an equation in 2 variables x and y. Number line meaning treated as it is, as an equation in 1 variable x. Solve this equation. That's the first thing. Solve this and represent the solution or solutions, because when you treat it as an equation in 1 variable x, it has only one solution. When you treat it as an equation in 2 variables x and y, then it has many solutions. It is represented by a straight line in the Cartesian plane. Every point on that straight line will be a solution to the equation. We'll understand all that one by one, children. Okay, so every point on the number line sorry, every point on the straight line, when you treat it as an equation in two variables x and y, every point on the straight line will be a solution to the equation. Solve this equation. We know how to solve it. And represent the solution or solutions. Solution in the case of one variable x. Solutions when it's treated as an equation in two variables x and y. So if it is one variable x, then on the number line. Two variables x and y, Cartesian plane. Make the graph. So here you see how it's solved. Here you see how it is solved. OK, I'm not talking about this because you know how to solve an equation and find the value of x. So x is equal to 3. So x is equal to 3. This equation is nothing but x is equal to 3. So in the Cartesian plane, in the Cartesian plane meaning, let's do this first, children. On the number line, let's do this first. On the number line meaning, children, I'm not rushing. I hope we understand this x is equal to 3, correct? On solving, we get x is equal to 3. Then I'm doing the second one first. How do you represent it on a number line? Number line meaning one variable, x itself. So x is equal to 3 here. X is equal to 3. This is the representation on the number line. Now Cartesian plane meaning you're treating it as a equation in two variables x and y. You don't have to write all that. X is equal to 3 means, who can tell me? X is equal to 3 means what? How do you show y there? How do you show y there? X plus what? How do you show y? X plus y is equal to 3.
0 into y, man.
Yeah, x plus 0y is equal to 3. X plus 0y is equal to 3. X plus 0y is equal to 3. So when you treat it as an equation in two variables x and y, we just understood x is always 3 for any real value of y. Whatever be the value of y, you can write that equation if you want. X plus 0y is equal to 3. 0y, no, you give different values for y. I told you where, because the coefficient is 0, you give values for y. You give different values. You give y minus 2, y0, y1. In all the cases, you will find x is 3. So x is equal to 3 means x is always 3 for any value of y. I'll just repeat it once again. X plus 0y. For those who want to write, can make a note of it. X plus 0y is equal to 3. 0y. Give different values for y. Say y is minus 2. Solve and find for x. You will get x is 3. Next, in the same equation, x plus 0y is equal to 3. Give y is 0. Solve. You will get x is 3. Again, use y is 1. So 0 into 1 is 0. On solving, you'll find x is 3. On solving, you'll find x is 3. That means x will always be 3 for any value of y. Now make a graph of this. Make a graph of this one. Yeah. You can see it here. You can see it here. When you make a graph, so this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. When you plot those points, 3, minus 2, 3, 0, 3, 1, here, 3, 0 is here, 3, minus 2, 3, 1. When you plot, you see that the points are collinear. They can be connected by the same straight line. It's a line, so arrows, and write the equation on it. What's the equation? X is equal to 3. Write that on it. Write the equation on the straight line obtained. What are the other things you should show on the graph? You must mention the address of every point you have plotted. You have plotted this point. What is the address? 3, 1. You have plotted this one. What's the address? 3, 0. This one. What's the address? 3, minus 2. Don't forget to mention these. And also, once you get the straight line, mention the equation on it. You can mention it here also on any side. On it meaning you can, okay, below it also. I don't know how to put it. So it can be on this side or this side, anywhere, or you can write it here also. Nothing like you should write it at this position, you know. So it can be anywhere. Just show the line, show the equation on it. So this is what, and then you know the scale, right? X-axis 1 centimeter is 1 unit. That is one. This is centimeter graph, right? This is centimeter graph. So this is 1 centimeter. On the x-axis, 1 centimeter is 1 unit because we've marked 1 here. If you say 5, 10, 15, if you say 5, 10, 15, then you must say 1 centimeter is equal to 5 units. When you jump in fives, then you must say this is 1 centimeter always. This is not going to change. It's a centimeter graph. This is 1 centimeter always. So x-axis, you should always write x-axis or y-axis 1 centimeter is equal to, always 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit, because you're jumping in, like you're jumping 1, 2, 3, 4, you're counting in ones. So 1 unit. If you're counting in fives, 5, 10, 15, 20, then it will be 5 units. If you're counting in hundreds, 0, 100, 200, 300, 400, 100 units. So like that. And it can be different on both the axes. You can jump in hundreds on the x-axis, jump in 50s on the y-axis. You can take different scale. The scale can be different on x and y-axis. You can mark 100, 200 on the x-axis, on the y-axis 50, 100, you can jump in 50s, you can jump in 25s. Whatever. That's about the first one. Children will wind up. Yeah, let's just see this one. Let's just see the third one. Because second one you can help yourself. Let's just do the third one and wind up. Use the equation, use this equation to write x in terms of y. That's the first thing. Use this equation and write x in terms of y. Write x in terms of y. Then draw the graph of the equation. You should draw the graph of this equation. Now use the equation, use this equation. You should use this equation now. And you should write y in terms of x. Draw its graph on the same graph paper. Then you must shade the region bounded by these two lines and the line x is equal to 0. That is the y-axis. X is equal to 0 is the y-axis. And finally, you must write out the coordinates of the vertices of the triangle formed. You must write out the coordinates of the vertices of the triangle formed. I'll tell you. You can read this in detail later. This is one equation. You must write x in terms of y, and you should make a graph of this one. This is another equation. Write y in terms of x, make a graph of this. So now you have two straight lines on the graph paper. You have two straight lines. On the same graph paper, you have two straight lines. Now there's another one. There's another line, x is equal to 0. The graph of which you need not make, because you know that x is equal to 0 is the y-axis itself. So y-axis is the third line. Y-axis is the third line. We have two lines already. Now the third line is the y-axis itself. Now these three lines will enclose a triangle. These three lines, because a triangle has three sides. Now these three lines will enclose a triangle. You must shade that triangle enclosed by these three lines. See, this is an equation represented by a line. There's a line on the graph paper. This equation represents another line on the graph paper. Now the third equation, x is equal to 0, is the y-axis itself. Now we have three straight lines on the graph paper. These three straight lines enclose a figure, which is a triangle. Three lines enclose a triangle. Now you need to shade that triangle and write out the coordinates of the vertices of that triangle. Just see this quickly. So like this, children. So you get, we'll see how to make the table. So this is, you can see, we have plotted the 3 points. We have written the equation there. At the address of the 3 points, you can see this is the other line. This is the other line. We plotted 3 points, and that's how we got this line. We plotted 3 points, we got this line. And then the other line is x is equal to 0, which is the y-axis itself. Y-axis itself. What you can see on this graph is on the line we have mentioned the equation. the corresponding equation. So this is the y-axis. You can see the equation here, x is equal to 0. And then for every point we plotted, we have mentioned the address 5, -2, 1, 1, whatever is the address. And then see, this is the region. You can see a triangle here also, but this is not the triangle formed by the 3 lines. This is the triangle. See here, this is one line. This is part of one line. This is the part. This is a part of the other line, and this is the y-axis itself. This is the region. This is the triangle. Not this one. You think for yourself. If you have a question, if you have a doubt why it can't be this triangle, we shall discuss that in the next class. This is the triangle bounded by the 3 lines. You can see that this side of the triangle is a part of one line. This side of the triangle is a part of the second line, and this side of the triangle is a part of the y-axis. The 3 sides of the triangle must be parts of the 3 lines, must be segments of the 3 lines. So if you think this can be the triangle, this is a side, but this is a segment of the x-axis, and x-axis is not at all in the picture. X-axis is not at all in the picture. So this cannot be the triangle. This is the triangle bounded by the 3 lines. How to make the table, and then vertices you can make out. You just have to. I've called the triangle A, B, and C. A, B, and C. So you need to write out the address of A, address of B, and address of C. A, B, C can be marked anywhere. You can mark A here, B here, and C here. So that's okay. A can be marked here, B here, C here, or you can call it PQR. So this is the first equation. This is the first equation. We write x in terms of y. This is what it is. Writing x in terms of y. This is what it is. Writing x in terms of y. This is what it is. Now we give different values for y. We have to give for y only. We have to give different values for y. For y. So like here, y is when y is 1. When y is 1, we use the value 1 in place of y in the equation, and we find the corresponding value of x. We find x is 1. When y is 4, find the corresponding value of x. When y is -2, find the corresponding value of x and put it in the table, and put that in the table. X and y for different values of x. These are the values of y. These are the points which you have to plot. These are the points which you have to plot. Now this is the second equation. This is writing y in terms of x. This is how we write y in terms of x. This is x in terms of y. X in terms of y. This is writing y in terms of x. And then we give different values for x here. We give different values for x here. For x, and we find the corresponding values of y. So see, when x is 1, when x is -1, we find the different. We find for different values of x, we find the corresponding values of y. And you can see we put it in a table here. This is the xy table. XY table for different values of x. These are the values of y. For different values of x, these are the values of y. And we have to plot the points 3, 4, -1, -2, 1, 1, and get the second line. Here we have to plot. Here we have to plot -3, 4, 1, 1, 5, -2, and get that first line. The third line is given by x is equal to 0, which is the y-axis itself. So no, you don't have to make any table for that, because x is equal to 0. I told you when we are working with graphs, when you have this equation x is equal to 0, we treat it as an equation in 2 variables x and y only. It is the equation of the y-axis itself. Y-axis itself. So on plotting the first 3 points, you get one line. The next 3 points, we get the other line. And then the third line is the y-axis itself. And now this is the triangle enclosed by the 3 lines. I told you one side of the triangle will be a segment of the first line. The second side, the other, I can't say second. Okay, so second side of the triangle will be a part of the second line, and the third side of the triangle will be a part of the y-axis itself, will be a segment of the y-axis itself. The three sides of the triangle will be three segments of the three lines in the question. This is the triangle, and then call the triangle PQR or whatever and write out the coordinates, the address of the vertices. So you understood how to write one in terms of the other, x in terms of y or y in terms of x. That's one thing. You know how to write x in terms of y or y in terms of x. And then what else? What the other important thing is, right? When you write like this x in terms of y, you should give different values for y only. You must give different values for y and find the corresponding values of x. Here you must give different values for x and find the corresponding values of y. So like this, you will prepare two tables, plot the points and get the lines. I'll share this material with you children with the answers. I'll let you know what you have to complete by the next class. Our next meet will be on Tuesday morning from 7:30 to 9. Yeah, children, so that's it for today's session. If you have any questions, please stay back, else you may leave the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, children. Thank you.